¿Qué pasa, Madrid? How's it going? First of all, I want to thank you all for coming here. I cannot stress how important it is to have a conference again in Spain after COVID. So please, I have two favors that I need to ask you before I start my talk. One, sit back, enjoy, relax, because this is going to be a fun one, I hope. And the second one, take pictures, networking, take selfies, and then hashtag MadVue to promote this amazing conference. So give an applause to the organizers. So that being said, this talk was meant for another talk that I did. It's the second time that I'm doing it, and it was 45 minutes. So I'm going to try to go a little bit faster so it fits the schedule that we have today, okay? So this talk is about creating a 3D multiplayer game with TresJS. Yeah, now, okay? So first question, can you actually build a 3D game with Nux? So I launched that question on my socials, like before the Vue.js Amsterdam, and we launched it with this fancy render of dice, okay? And a lot of people like actually tell me it is possible. So the answer is yes, it is possible. But should you? First act, motivation. I'm going to go a little bit faster here because you don't need to understand my motivation. Basically, I'm a frustrated game developer, okay? And I really love playing video games. Even with my cat, he's Gerald. He's named after Gerald of Rivia, the Witcher. And he loves playing games with me. Like, he really enjoys playing with me. You can see it in the picture. But my motivation is growing up in all these amazing games for the PlayStation, GameCube, like the 3D era of Final Fantasy, Crash Bandicoot, and even more recently, The Witcher. And I have an addiction. I had to come clean. I have been spending unhealthy amount of hours to Baldur's Gate. I'm totally guilty, amazing game. I love you, Larian Studios, forever. Okay, and this game made me want to create games again, okay? So let's do that. Let's try to build Baldur's Gate with Nux. We can go to the boring part of schemas and how you will develop a game. So you have this game state localized, and then you have some inputs, the keyboard, the controllers. Then you had to do a game loop because you need to render every time how your characters are moving, how the environment is moving. So you do renderings. You can add some like collisions and physics, but that's going to be for next year. I have something prepared for physics. But for this year, it's going to be like the render, so you have a scene with a camera that captures everything that you put in that scene. And then you have assets. So let's talk about the stack. We have TresJS, we have Nux, and we have Nux UI on top of it. So why Tres? For those that are not familiar yet with TresJS is a library that allows you to leverage 3D on Vue. So it's a declarative library where you can build 3D scenes with Vue components and composables. Okay, it's based on TresJS, a pretty famous 3D library, and WebGL. Okay. I'm happy that we are about like 100K downloads mostly. It got a little bit down now, so please give it a start, like share it on socials. It will be pretty cool. And this is a screenshot of an actual game that we have. It's like a space game that somebody built in the community. So I will give you the link afterwards if you want to check it out. Why Nux UI? Nux UI developed this amazing UI library that comes together really easy, and it's amazing because it has tons of components right away to use. And it also has a version, thanks to Daniel, to use in Vue. So you can even use it in Vue, okay? It's Tailwind-based, and it's completely typed, and it's incredibly comfortable to use, even in a 3D game. We're gonna see why. So yeah, I'm a fan of really fancy technical diagrams, so this is what I come up for my game. I wanted to have a low poly model with some metadata that is going to be Nux content. And then we're going to have Nux UI for all the UI elements of the game and Tres for the 3D canvas in the back. Pretty simple, right? I want to give a shout out to this guy, K-Kid. He does an amazing job creating fully rigged, animated, low poly, optimized models, completely free for people to do games. So I love this guy. You should totally give it a shout out if you want to try creating games, because he has a lot of free stuff, and also he has some like paid stuff. Totally worth it. Okay. So about the state management. Hi, Posla. Hi, Eduardo. So we selected Pina, of course, because it was really easy to have the game store in an actual store, right? But this is when the fun part comes. Gaming is a lot of fun, but it's always better with friends. So I want to welcome to the stage to Daniel, Eduardo, and Alex. Give an applause.
Hey, no way.
So if last year wasn't mad enough to try to live code in front of a lot of people, today we're going to do something even cooler. We are going to live game in a conference. So we're going to go to the game. It has this amazing fancy screen. Okay.
What a name. What a name.
Fardus Gate. Copyright. No, I actually got like approval from them. Like they are really cool as a studio. Like they tell me, go, don't worry. So we have this multiplayer, and I did all this is Nux UI, okay? And I'm gonna create server. So we are creating the lobby, and it should be available for all of you, so you can start joining. Okay, once we have Daniel, the Alex Ligia, Eduardo, nice. We are all orange. So I'm gonna do ready, and let's start the game. So here we comes for the character selection screen, which is my favorite, to be honest. And here we can select multiple, like you have an artificer, you have a druid, you have a joyful paladin, aka Storyblok branded. Nice pun intended. And I'm gonna choose a rogue because I always like to be a rogue, and it's one of the most fun class. So I'm gonna be Cassandra. Okay, so we are in and we are moving. Yes, nice. I love that there are 2 vampires, which I didn't test before, but I love it. It works.
It works.
Testing on the screen. As a difference between the one that I gave in Vue.js Amsterdam, and it's new for this conference, we have a dungeon, finally. We have a level. So I'm going to give a shout out to Thorsten. If you've seen this, you're awesome, because he was the one creating the dungeon for us and uploaded it to the game. The game is in a repo, so if any one of you want to participate in building the game, let me know. I give you access and we can start building, okay? So let's start a game. For those of you who are not familiar with Dungeons & Dragons, actually, who is familiar with Dungeons & Dragons? I love it. Awesome. So for those of you who are not familiar with, it's an amazing tabletop game that you have, you can choose a character with different classes, and you have a master of the dungeon who is the one creating the storytelling, and basically you have like actions that you roll a dice. So we're going to do exactly that today. We're going to try to open this beautiful chest and see what treasure is inside. So I'm going to invite one of our guests today to try to open it, and try not to have a critical success, Daniel, in the first try. Okay? So who's going to be the first?
Let's give Daniel, once again, second chance, no critical success.
Okay, so here you're going to see a model with the dice. So the difficulty class is how much we need to roll in order to open that beautiful chest.
Come on. Come on. Failure!
That's what normally happens. Okay, so who's next? Who's going to do the second one?
Eduardo, come on. Go for it.
Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun.
don't even need to say anything, right?
So it's the context menu. Is like right click?
You have to right click.
Yeah. You have +3 in dexterity, so you have some bonus there.
What do you have?
These guys are so lucky. Normally it takes forever. But yeah, like give them an applause. You open it.
On the stage?
On stage, man. Nice. So what we're gonna do now, and magically, you know it's a magic chest when it teletransport to another position. But if you open it, it has like a view. It's so this is actually it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to get more things into the game for the next talks, but yeah, no, it's like let me show. Like these are all the levels. So we're trying to do like mechanics like collisions we are creating like a physics library based on Rapier. And then we have like spikes that come out of things, or like, how do you say, the chest, the mimics, the ones that eat you. It's all coming. So please make sure you stay tuned to the library and all this game. So I want you all to give a round of applause to our amazing invitees in home. Thank you very much.
Of course. And I heard you're also building that sometimes live on stream. Is that true?
I do. Yeah. I do.
Really? Where and when?
So you can check out nice one. you can check the progress of the game in Twitch. I'm normally streaming on Thursday at 6 p.m. After work, so it's more chill. We can hang out and build the game live on my Twitch. Okay, so Alvaro Sabu Twitch. You can find me there. Okay. So I hope you like it, because now I'm going to explain a little bit how we managed to do that, right? So the multiplayer was actually really fun to do because we used WebSockets for it, okay? So we used some experimental Nitro WebSockets. This is really cool. I don't know if it's already like, it's no longer experimental, it's like built, yeah? Soon. Okay, so you can start using it by adding this flag of WebSockets experimental flag. Okay, so this is cool because it gives you real-time bidirectional communication, and it's amazing for the game state synchronization. Okay, so it allows us to be in the same room, and if one moves the other way, you can see it. You need to update all the different tabs so they are all synchronized. Okay. Let's go to the second act. I don't see the time anymore, but how long is? How much do I have?
Like 15 minutes.
Oh, actually not that bad. Okay. I can go a little slow. So for the second act is actually the game that I show you. So third act is what I learned about the game. So first thing is organizing your 3D assets. Whenever you're doing something with UI, so let's go to the UI world, right? You want to organize all your images. You're gonna organize all your your UI components in different folders and different ways of like structuring the. So it's gonna be exactly the same with your assets on 3D. You can create view components for each one of your characters, for example, or you can create one for. This is the character.view, right? So it's a single file component where I pass the character ID, or the object in this case, and the player information, and then I get the resource that I like loaded in front. Okay. And there is this cool, like, it's a primitive, okay? So it's like a component in TresJS that whatever you create programmatically, you can pass it to the primitive and it will get it into the scene graph, okay? So this way we can get a model that will load from a website or whatever, and we can inject it into the Tres scene. One of my favorite parts is using Nox UI for the game UI, because like, if you ever build a game, you know how difficult it is to create UI on it. Like most of the Unity or Godot is a little bit tough. It's not the same CSS beautiful world that we have in web development. So being able to combine both, the 3D rendering part and then using a library like Nox UI is amazing for this type of development. It's really easy to build fancy UI elements. So in this case, I was surprised how easy it was to combine both words. So when you click at the chest, there is a context menu, which is a component that comes in the Nux UI. And we are, how can I explain this without sounding crazy? So whenever you have a 3DS scene, you need to fake pointer events, okay? So you're basically casting a line from the mouse to the object that you want to click. And that gives you a callback. So we're taking that callback and we are opening the context menu. So we have it in a UI store in Pinia, and then we have the method to open this context menu with these items right here. And then we stop the propagation, so it only happens with the chest and nothing that is in front of the chest. Okay. So another thing that I actually use a lot in from the Nux ecosystem was the Nux content. So Nux content allows you to create like a static data from a JSON or Markdown, and then load in via server or like directly with the composables into your application. So everything that is metadata, so all the classes, identifiers, all the classes icons, what is the primary ability, if it's intelligent, constitution. That gives you the proficiencies when you roll a dice, for example. So some of the classes have the dexterity +3, etc. They are all classes, so cantrips, levels, origins, races. And this is not the most updated one. If I have time at the end of the talk, I can run the actual, like the one that we have right now, that has more UI built in. Okay. Then, how we use Pinia is that in the beginning in the store, like in the main store of use game store, and actually I could leverage this and start using Piña Colada after the talk of Edo, because I think it will improve a lot like the experience on the game. So we are querying all the collections, and then we like put in different variables. And then we're using the collections that allows us to type what you're getting from the Nux content. Okay, so everything is correctly typed. You have all the different, like the schema object of how items are going to look like, or how the properties are going to look like. So I really like using Pinia for the game state, not only because of the versatility or like how well it went. So I can also check it on the DevTools. So one of the things that I like the most about the Vue ecosystem is the whole DX. So being able, while making the game, to do adjustments just based on the DevTools and all, like we have a plugin for the DevTools, for the Vue DevTools and the Nux DevTools as well. And with that, you can inspect all the different objects, cameras, or elements that you have inside of the scene. So for that, we're using the game store, and we can save things like the mode. If it's single player or multiplayer, we can get all the character templates, everything really granular, and we can check it on the DevTools. So something that I learned by mistake is that please don't store any 3JS object inside of any store whatsoever. Why? It comes a little bit as well as using reactivity in 3D rendering, okay? Reactivity, you know, in Vue, it uses proxies, okay? So it's not plain objects to keep the reactivity. If you try to save or you try to animate, for example, something that is inside of a ref or reactive, it will blow the performance because you are rendering 60 or more frames per second. So like in movies that you put a lot of images together until the point that your eye cannot distinguish the difference between it, it's the same concept when you're rendering 3D. So you need to be careful what you put in those loops, that they need to be plain objects and not refs. But it can be leveraged with the use of shallow ref. So I don't know how much of you are familiar with shallow ref or shallow reactive, but it's an amazing alternative to have some reactivity when it's needed, but not saving the whole object, like being the whole deep object reactive. And as well, if you do it in a store or you're saving it like a persistent state, the 3JS objects are really deep nested. So they can get really hellish in terms of how deep nested they are. So try not to do it because it will serialize that objects and you're going to have a lot of issues with it, okay? Nitro WebSockets for the multiplayer win. Yeah, this was really fun to do because you can create in the server, in Nux server, you can use define event handler. And inside of it, you're going to have a method that is going to be open. So here you can save all the connected peers. So when Daniel, Eduardo, and Alex joined in, they were saved in this state where, okay, these are the connected peers and they are this. And then we send messages and receive messages to align and synchronize. So that's the way you can actually send a message and say, okay, this type of message is a player connection request. What we're going to do with that, we're going to handle player connection. If we get a response, so it's always handling with switch, not switch cases. I will recommend having a map for it. But it's a lot of work like handling, okay, how should I respond and how should I request data? Then we can send messages to the server. So whenever I'm clicking or I'm moving for example, when I'm clicking the floor, you remember that the characters were moving in the scene, right? So what I'm doing is saving that position that I want to go. So whenever I click, I'm going to send that position to the server, so all the different tabs that are connected will send that character into that position. That's way better than floating the server with, okay, now my position is this, now my position is this, now my position is this. No, I say, I want to move there, and then I move the character in. It's way more effective. So you need to think on all these performance optimizations while you do in the game. So once you are in the game itself, in the Nux application, you can use this composable called use WebSocket, which I think is in Vue use. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then you send, you pass the API route, and then you can watch whatever you get some data. So that's the way you handle data on your client. You get something from the WebSockets, and you say, okay, I'm gonna move the character to a different position. So coming again to the question that we did in the beginning. Can you actually build a 3D game using Nux? What do you say? Yes. But should you? Yes. Why not? I mean, it's fun. So I have a blast doing this. I was doing it after work, like probably a month. I'm not going to lie, I vibe code a lot. But I vibe code in important parts. Let's say I'm not letting the AI do my coding and take that away from me, the pleasure of coding something new or creative. But some of the architectural decisions I was using it as a consultant or a rubber duck. Or if I had to write some tests, I'm gonna pass it to AI, honestly. No, but like I was also checking a lot with like what the AI prompt, because in some cases hallucinations went really wild. So it's not bad to vibe code, especially these kind of games. If you're not familiar with 3D game, it's a way to start building 3D games. But please also try to understand what the AI is giving you and learn about how it's building the game, so you can learn as well. Okay. I love that. Like Nux provides a nice server and UI layers, so you can combine all of that in the same place. You don't need to have different like libraries and such. The DX is probably the best out there. I repeat it a lot, but like for me, DevTools to be able to debug my game is amazing, and it blends really well with Tres. Like we have this Tres Nux module, and built by Daniel, actually. Thank you, Daniel. So it connects, auto-imports everything that you need from the TresJS ecosystem in your Nux application, and it takes care of the shenanigans that are under it, so you don't need to worry about it. And last but not least, I think it's a great way of learning game mechanics with a familiar stack, because if we try now to learn Unity or learn Godot, it's another stack, probably another language. So with this, you can actually build a game, if you ever wanted to do one, with a familiar stack. So you're going to be using Vue, Nux, and all the familiar libraries, Piña, etc. what can I say? The community is amazing. You're amazing. So let's keep the Vue community and making more 3D, hopefully in the future. So the next step, which I call the DLC, you can scan this. I think it gets you to the GitHub repo. Yes. Can you confirm me? I don't remember. OK, so if you want, feel free to open a feature request, PR. More than welcome to review it and make it into the game so we can showcase it in the next. Like Thorsten created the level. He contributed, created PR, and we merged it, and it's now live on stage. So yours can be as well. I'm going to be streaming, as Alex mentioned, the game progress every Thursday, 6 p.m. on Twitch. Contribute if you want to. And also, we have the Discord channel on the Discord community for Tres, so feel free to join. I want to thank all the contributors that make possible Tres and the ecosystem. It's growing every time that I do in a talk. I had to add more, so I created a script that takes them directly from GitHub. And as well, it's important, even if it's open source, we are doing this on our extra hours. Okay, so I'm finishing my work in the Storyblok, and I'm doing +2 hours and weekends sometimes to make this library, okay? And most of us do. So if you have any way that you can sponsor us, or your company is using TresJS and you want to sponsor us, please do, because it's amazing to contribute back to the developers that are doing this, okay? Without breaking the stage. And also, I'm really interested in Anastasia talk afterwards, because it's like how to make this profitable. So please take a look at that one. Finally on the list, my name is Alvaro Saburido. I'm a developer experience engineer at Storyblok. These are my socials. I'm actually from Venezuela, but I live in Barcelona, Spain. So if you want to reach me in Spanish, please do. I'm creating content on, well, I was creating content on my YouTube channel. I will try to get back to it. My blog and portfolio that is never finished. You want to know a fun anecdote? I actually built Tres because I wanted to do my portfolio in Nox and 3D. And there was nothing for Vue to create 3D. There was a library, but it wasn't that good. And fun fact, I haven't finished it. So like 2 years after creating Tres, I still not finished my portfolio. So say hi in my socials, and always happy to jump into a call, check some code together. Feel free to book a session with me. I'm more than happy to help you in open source. Thank you.